Hello everybody, I'm Technic, and this is already the third episode of me building this handsome guy, aka Advanced Travel Truck. As you can see, as you can see now, it's missing a few parts here and there, but since this episode is about building the bodywork, it is ready for us to do just that. And I'm gonna make a little bit of an unusual bodywork resembling the set 42038 Arctic truck, and as a per suggestion of TRX Rick, I'm gonna build some tracks. So in general, our first thing to do is to make an interior and extend the floor of the cabin forward so that we have room to do it. And after that, I'm just gonna make the walls and then make a sort of engine compartment wall thingy. And at the back, maybe I'm gonna leave it bare. Maybe I'm gonna add a dumping bed, maybe a hook lift, maybe just a plain box. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. Well, here's how the bodywork is progressing. I only have the front for now, but I also have these three nice seats and a steering wheel. And also there are pedals, which is something I don't see in models usually. And I myself got inspired by Nicola with one of his models. It had the pedals too, so I decided to implement them because why not? I had space. And this is probably my only model that actually has realistic position of the seats and the pedals and the steering wheel, because otherwise most of the time the seats are just on the floor and you would have to kind of sit in a way different manner than usual. But yeah, that's how it's going. And here I have some pinholes which are going to be useful for making the dashboard. And also I have forgot to mention earlier, but I have replaced the rear shock absorbers with the soft ones instead of the hard ones. That I did that even before filming this episode. I did it just because I felt like the rear suspension was too hard. The front suspension is still a little bit hard, but with the bodywork it should be just fine. And that's basically how the model is going right now. Our next step is to install the doors, and I think that I'm gonna use suicide doors on this one, meaning that they open in this direction instead of the normal one. And the reason I'm gonna do that is because I have this angle over here, which is quite difficult to make a door hinge, and it'll also be quite difficult to make a separate wall and then a door. It'll be difficult, so I will just make a suicide door. And that's the plan for now. Okay, so now that the bodywork is partially finished, um, I can tell you how it went. This entire part was done off camera, and I don't think that will surprise you. I build a lot of camera because I don't know, sometimes I just need to look over the model or build it a little bit of a different angles, and that is not very well suited for the angle I'm filming the time lapses from. But yeah, this is how the model is progressing so far. I like the look of the engine bay so far. It has a triangle shape and it's also inclined in this direction. And I have already used that type of design in some of my earlier models, but none of them really got published. There are no videos of them. It's just that I remember using this technique for other models. And the suicide doors are also working. There's a steering wheel, which I already talked about. And one more thing is that I have ultimately tried to implement the tracks, but they were just too slow. Since the model is already pretty slow, and tracks are in general slower than wheels, uh, the result was an inefficient, slow, and traction lacking beast that was just not worth the cool looking aspect. In other news, I have decided about what's gonna be in the back of our truck. It's gonna be a little bit of a tow truck kind of vibe because there's gonna be a little medium motor over here and then a linear actuator and a boom with a winch and maybe an extension, now triggers and all that, which would require a second buoys. Or if I don't find space or it's too heavy, um, or all of the above, I'm just gonna leave it plain. And that's the plan for now. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so the progress so far, as you can see, we have progressed a little bit. The engine cover is complete now, and as you can see, there is no more big wing panel in here. Sorry, I just uh, the wheel got damaged. Anyways, there is no extension here because I realized that would take away from the space that we would have for potential attachment. And about the whole tow truck attachment thing, I'm not exactly sure if that will go very well. I can make a buoys fit here. I can install install a motor right next to it, but I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical of that idea, but I will still try to implement it nonetheless. And I have installed an opening hatch here with a support rod. So I'm quite proud of that. And as you can see, the engine compartment feels a little bit empty. So I'm gonna attach some sort of like boxes, fire extinguishers, all that stuff. I tried to fit a spare wheel inside, but obviously it doesn't fit. I tried to fit it on here, but it doesn't look good. I try to fit it here, which also doesn't look good, and it would not allow me to make a tow truck attachment. So I guess there is no spare wheel. I also just realized how cool this would look if I attached a third axle, but I only have 5 of these wheels, and I need 6 for 3 axles, obviously. So that's basically it. I have also attached the lights. I have experimented with attaching them on the front bumper, but it did not look good. It looked like actually, you know what? It doesn't look good like this either. I don't know how to make it look good, but we'll see, I guess. It looks a little bit like a frog that is very surprised at something, but I don't know. And the motors are still not covered. And now I'm gonna attach some sort of these panels here to the to that part. I'm gonna do it right now on camera. So that you can see. Also, a significant portion of this was actually not filmed and as a time lapse, but rather I went into a voice chat on one of my colleagues, so to speak, Discord server. Technic RC Garage, you might have heard of him, but yeah, that's where I was for the construction of most part of the lid and also for this rear wall. So in case you're wondering why there was a sudden jump in the progress, that's why. And by the way, the drift wagon that I showed you in the previous building process video, yeah, that one got its instructions published and there is also a video, so definitely go check it out. That's basically how the gas tank will look. Maybe I'm gonna replace it with gray panels. And now let's go back to the time lapse. Well, the model itself is finally finished. I ultimately decided against making anything like an attachment in the back because I only got one port and routing the wires through the whole chassis to the very rear would probably be a nightmare, and the extra weight wouldn't exactly help either. And after all, this is a trail truck. There is absolutely no doubt on that. And I just think it wouldn't look as good as it does now. So what did I end up actually doing with the rear? I just made a flatbed like this. And speaking of the panel that I use for the bed, I literally just took it out of there. It used to be here for the cargo space. By the way, I made a video on that model. If you're interested, you can watch it. And back to this model. Yeah, so that's what I ended up doing for the rear. It's very light, it's effective, it looks good, and you could probably carry some nice stuff on there like Sarion tires, maybe even some battery boxes, but I'm probably not going to since travel trucks. And basically the model is complete. And in the engine compartment over here, I got a box with tools. There we go. Focus. Yeah, the camera does not focus, but we got some tools that are definitely not to scale with the seats and the interior, but hey, it counts. And then there is this fire extinguisher, which is just in case the V8 engine just blows up randomly. If that ever happens, it does. By the way, I have never addressed this issue before, and I most likely never will, but the engine does not spin in neutral gear, which is not realistic. It changes speed with the wheels, which is even less realistic, but it is what it is, and I don't want to fix it because I do not know how without redesign of the entire chassis. So I will basically consider this model done. I have not tested it outside yet because it was either too hot, the model was not complete, or it was the night, right, like it is right now. And I'm also quite proud of the hood support rod, even though it's nothing major. I just like the little details in my mocks, because I usually don't get to implement them. The rear suspension is wonderfully soft, I really like it, it allows the model to be flexible, sort of. The front suspension is a little bit hard, but it's alright. And it definitely can be fixed by just simply adding a soft shock absorber, because then it would be too soft and the suspension would sag, and that kind of defeats the entire point of having suspension. So that's how the model turned out. Let me know if you like it. If you did, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that stuff. And that's it. Bye.